My name is Amanda, and this is Nova. Nova is going to be helping me with a set of videos, so this is video number 2. I'm currently in EDU 581 at Georgetown College, where I'm learning about ESL and assessments. So, in this video, we're going to talk about access. And so video 1 talked about when students take it and what it means, but we're going to talk about what we do with those scores once we receive them and what that means for maybe some instruction, okay? All right, so Nova, you said that the access is taken in January here in Fayette County, correct? So
Yes.
when do those scores typically come back?
It's wonderful because we get them before the end of the school year in April.
Okay.
So at that time we can share the results with all the stakeholders.
All right, very nice. And by stakeholders, who would you be talking about?
Clearly the parents, the families. It can be translated into their native language. We share it with the classroom teachers. And obviously the information gets shared at the district, state, and likely national level as well, compared with the other 35 WIDA states.
Okay, and in the first video we just kind of skimmed through access, so when the students take it and what in general it is, but when those scores come back, what different areas do students receive feedback on?
This is an example of a student score report. Would be an example of the teacher report that comes out. And so you can see here there are various bands for the different domains, and then it really breaks down the question types. So there are 4 different domains that, the 4 different subtests that the students take tests in: listening, reading, speaking, and writing. And they also combine the different domains into oral language is 50% listening, 50% speaking. Literacy is 50% reading, 50% writing, and comprehension is 70% reading and 30% listening.
Okay.
And it's interesting because each domain is weighted differently in the score. Listening and speaking are only weighted 15% of the total score, and reading and writing each get 35%, which is the same as the WOPT. So you can see that there's a great emphasis on the reading and writing portion, where students are really understanding academic English.
Okay. Excellent. And so obviously in an assessment that breaks it apart like this, you can see that individual students will score very differently amongst different levels. So is there a trend that you see students scoring higher in compared to other areas?
Certainly the receptive language tends to be stronger, especially for newcomers. So listening and reading scores tend to be higher than speaking and writing.
Okay.
Listening and speaking overall, the oral language tends to be higher than the literacy part.
Mm-hmm.
In order to pass the access or exit ESL via the access, they have to have a composite score of 5.0 out of 6.0, or 1 to 6 points, and the literacy score has to be at least a 4. So that shows also that the district places a high value on that reading and writing component.
Okay. And so, just trying to understand it, as a mainstream classroom teacher then, if you are giving your report about your students that are coming in August at the beginning of the school year, and you see that you have
a teacher was given this information at the beginning of the school year,
Yes,
how could they use it?
yes.
They, WIDA has this really awesome tool online called these name charts, and a teacher can take the access scores and the breakdown here in the different domains, because you don't want to just look at the composite score. That really is not very telling for instructional purposes. So they could take, this is a little matrix for a specific subject for math, but here are the 4 different domains, and across are the 6 different language levels, language proficiency levels. And so you can see this student is performing much higher in the listening category than he is in the writing, which would be typical. So if I were a classroom teacher getting this information, I could clearly see that the student is taking in a lot of information, getting a lot of language and understanding. However, producing it in writing is quite difficult for him. So this child might need a lot of sentence frames, a lot of scaffolding, word banks, just a lot of extra supports in order to be successful in this area, versus the listening, not so much.
Okay. So, again, that is the Access Test, and it's taken once a year by English language learners for states who are involved in WIDA. And so, as Kentucky, we are one of those. So, it's really important that mainstream teachers understand WIDA access scores and really look into those and their students to know what that means for the instruction that they need to be giving them throughout the year. So, thanks so much. And in August, at the beginning of the school year, and you see that you have got to be kidding me. Should I just let it go and try to cut it out? Yeah. A ESL thing. It's okay. Do you want to ask real quick, or do you want me to call you back? It's okay. Okay. Oh well. No, you're right. Bye. Anyway, that's what happens.